Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is August 10th, and right now we're looking at the visible satellite imagery as of yesterday morning. The yellow lines here, as I mentioned yesterday, are National Weather Service forecast areas. This would be for Seattle. You can see Portland here. It does include portions of southwest Washington. This is Pendleton, Oregon. If you notice, that does include the Tri-Cities, Yakima up towards Ellensburg, and places like Cle Elum, all the way towards the Cascade Crest into Washington. That's one that catches a few people off guard here, is just how far Pendleton does extend into Washington. This one here is Spokane. You've got Missoula and you've got Boise down here, and you can see Interstate 84, for example, and off to the south here would be Medford. So if we scroll through yesterday, you can see the thunderstorm activity up there in British Columbia. Then that moved down in towards the Cascades of Washington, and look at all the lightning strikes near Stevens Pass, North Cascades are moved down towards Stampede Pass, Snoqualmie Pass, and down towards Mount Rainier. The Nachi's out there and just near Ellensburg at times. And then the overnight hours, you can see them continuing on up across British Columbia, then off to portions, down here across, this would be Mullen Passes, portions of Idaho here. Now we scroll out towards this morning, and you can see the marine there really punch in towards the Puget Sound here through the Chehalis Gap, down towards the Portland Metro and the Oregon coastline here. And we're going to do the thunderstorm thing again today for some of the North Cascades, especially northeast Washington, out towards maybe Yakima, Ellensburg, places like that. So we'll dive into those details as we go through the video this morning. We'll take a look at the extended forecast as well, because we have some troughing that continues to show up in for the month of August in many of the model runs here for the European, the GFS. We'll take a look at that here coming up here. So I took a look here at the Tempest map, and you can see this is just north of Lake Chelan, not Lake Chelan. Lake Chelan is here. This is Lake Wenatchee. So this station here, I want to show you all the lightning strikes that were being recorded. You can see the Seattle Metro over here, and there are a few stations out here by Lake Wenatchee. There's Leavenworth here, and you can see there's Easton, Snoqualmie Pass. You can see Ellensburg down here. Here's Thorpe, for example, and you can see Moses Lake to the bottom right. So if we scroll in on that station, you can see just the huge amount of lightning activity out there, and it tells you exactly when these lightning strikes occurred and how far these strikes were away. So if you want to buy this weather station, it's extremely fun when we do have active weather to have one of these attached to your place of residence. Click on that link down below to save 10% off. Highly recommended. This is for today. The SPC calling for, again, the Washington and some of the Oregon Cascades. That potential for some lightning activity does include Pendleton and Spokane. Should be off to the west of Seattle and Seattle and Portland, Oregon here. Also, you can see there is a marginal risk here for some wind and hail across Butte. You can see Jackson, Wyoming here. Now, taking a look at day 2, it does include the North Cascades, northeast Washington here as well. You can see Missoula, Butte, and Great Falls would be included in that one. This is for day 3. It still includes some of the Cascades here and portions of Oregon. So that's what we're going to be watching here coming up over the next couple of days. This is day 1. This is isolated dry thunderstorm potential. It does include some of the Blue Mountains here, eastern Oregon, portions of Idaho there. But again, there's going to be lightning activity again today, and they could be kicking off some fires. The thunderstorms yesterday have started fires across some of the Cascades of Washington, so we have to watch out for that also. And sometimes it takes a day or two for those fires really to get going. Now, looking at Seattle yesterday, 84 degrees, 79 the average high, so another quite warm day, 84. We should be a little bit above average again here today before we start our cool down coming up, and we start to move the smoke out of the area for the most part, but not fully. And I'll show you what's going on with that here as we go through the video. Looking at the showers and thunderstorms today, this was put out at 5:30 this morning by Spokane. You can see we have that chance for Yakima, Ellensburg, Wenatchee, Stevens Pass again, Winthrop. You can see Republic, you can see Bonners Ferry, and there's Sandpoint, Idaho near Spokane, Ritzville, and Pullman right there. And of course, new wildfire ignitions are possible, gusty outflow winds, and there could be some heavy local rainfall amounts. It surprised me a little bit in just how persistent some of these storms were given over some areas, just kind of training over the same area. So there was some heavy rainfall out there that may have caused some localized flooding. And yeah, so watch out for that. And again, all these storms can contain potentially dangerous lightning. This is Pendleton today, does highlight the Ellensburg, Yakima, Sunnyside area, and there is that chance down into Baker City, for example, and up towards Spokane. Now, looking at Seattle, there is the red flag warning still up here, and if we click on that, you can see this goes from 11 a.m. this morning to 10 p.m. this evening. You can see fire weather zones are on here: Kittitas Valley, Yakima, Alpine District, East Washington, South Central Cascade Mountains. Abundant lightning frequent cloud to ground lightning strikes are possible. And of course, those gusty winds may help start new fires. And this is Portland. You can see they got air quality alerts for some of the metro area and a little bit further south. That does include Bend and Redmond, for example. Taking a look at Medford, of course, it's that time of year here, and it seems to be getting more persistent year by year that we have to deal with this wildfire smoke. So here is Medford, Oregon, National Weather Service, and this would be for 7 p.m. Saturday here. So this would be for tonight, the model simulation. You can see downwind, some of these fires can be particularly nasty. Now, taking a look at the HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh. So we scroll through the day to day. This is the 14Z one. You can see it does pop off some of the storms there. Ellensburg, Yakima, up towards Wenatchee, Lake Chelan, maybe Omak. And it kind of shows them pushing off pretty quickly here. And the models weren't handling this too well yesterday. If you remember, I showed yesterday morning, and the HRRR wasn't showing anything across the Central Cascades, and we got hundreds of lightning strikes out there. So it might be underdoing some of this coverage today. And you can see as we go through the evening hours tonight, this pushes off across Northeast and the Idaho Panhandle. So if we take a look at the European, probably did a little bit better here because it shows at least where the precipitation was occurring, and you can kind of see as we go through this evening where it's showing up the best chances across the Washington Cascades, up into British Columbia again, clipping Northeast Washington, maybe the Blue Mountains, and some of Idaho, western Montana, and the Rocky Mountains also. And then as we go on to Sunday, you can see mainly the North Cascades showing up for Sunday in British Columbia. And then Monday, we got this weak trough. It's going to be swinging across the area, and it's not showing a lot of precipitation west of the Cascades, but it does show a little bit, and it's also going to start to cool us down and try to kick some onshore flow on. But stick with me, and I'll show you the smoke forecast here in a moment as well. Now, wider view of things here. This is the European. This is yesterday afternoon's ensemble mean. This is the average of all 50 ensemble members. And if I put this into motion, you can see the troughing that's coming here as we go through Monday. And then we kind of get rid of that just for a hair here. You can kind of see the troughing, we flattened things out a little bit here. Then we bring this next round of troughing that continues to show up. So we're looking at about what? We're looking at, only 138, 144 hours. We're getting closer to this period of troughing that's showing up off the west coast of North America. Pretty persistent too. You can kind of see it exist all the way on in through August 21st, and it kind of just hangs out here right off the coastal areas here. We're now on in through August 24th. So it's going to be some interesting weather here as we go on in through August. Now, looking at the GFS, this is a different view. Hawaiian Islands at the bottom left. There's the state of California. There's Washington State here. And as we scroll on in through Monday, you'll see the troughing starting to hang up here across the region. And it hangs out. You can see it ebbing and flowing there. We get a little bit of a break here, a little tiny bit of ridging there, but quickly it's going to be replaced with some more troughing as we go on in towards next week. And the GFS wants to bring this upper level low right over the top of the Pacific Northwest, meanders, retrogrades, and then swings through the area and gets replaced by maybe even a stronger upper level low right off the coastal region here. So yeah, there's going to be some definitely fun weather watching scenarios coming up here with just how these upper level lows are going to interact with the Pacific Northwest. This is a thunderstorm potential. It would keep us below normal temperature wise, maybe bring some precipitation as well. So yeah, all worth watching. Looking at the Tri-Cities here, this goes out 48 hours towards Monday morning, and you can see still surface smoke and still that smoke aloft. This would be about 18,000 feet here. So yeah, it's still out there, folks. I wish that we had some kind of magic wand where we could just push the smoke out of the region, but still, with the fires ongoing, it's going to be tough to do so. This is Portland. You can see by the time we get towards tomorrow morning, it looks like the smoke aloft and at the surface is going to be departing some of the Willamette Valley and portions of southwest Washington and western Oregon. That might not be the case for some of Seattle north, and I'll show you that here in a moment. But you can see it here on Seattle. You can see at times surface smoke as we go through Sunday morning. Surface smoke getting better, but still some smoke in the aloft layer. Bellingham, something similar versus Seattle, but you can still see as we go through, Sunday night, still a little bit of surface smoke out there. Now, if we take a look at that surface smoke here, we're going to put this into motion. Now, we're scrolling through about 2 p.m., and you can see the fires. We got new starts here across some of the North Cascades as well, and that's going to be a problem in the upcoming days. You can see it spreading smoke across Lake Chelan. You got the Williams fire down here in Mount Adams. I believe that's what it's called. We'll double check that here in a moment. But you can see the surface smoke hanging out, and it finally starts to leave as we go through Sunday morning for a lot of western Washington, and you continue to see the fires pump out the smoke as we go all the way in through a Monday morning. So taking a look at the entire column of the atmosphere, this is vertically integrated smoke. This goes out 48 hours as well. You can see it kind of hanging out for today. The fire's flaring up, and we do improve here as we go through Sunday morning for western Washington, western Oregon, but then we're going to have this weak troughing here, and it's going to try to spin some of the smoke back up towards western Washington. But the good news is that should be aloft, and we'll see how that goes. But you know, it's kind of hanging out there for a bit as we go through Monday morning. Don't like to see it, but what can you do? And the Williams Mine fire there is right there near Mount Adams. There's the Retreat fire. And that was the Lee Falls Road. There's some of the smoke being produced off to the west of Portland. And you can see all the fire activity across the Oregon Cascades. And I believe there are new fire starts here. We'll check this out over the next couple of days. I saw some social media posts about those fires going up. So no rest for the weary. Looking at the National Weather models today, a little bit above average for Seattle. Then you can clearly see the troughing starting to set up shop here. And the 80s may be gone for a while. I know the mossbacks across the region will love to hear that, especially west of the Cascades where most of them are located, including me. National blended models today showing 82, 83, 84 for Seattle. We'll see how that goes. Then we go to tomorrow. Look at that 10-degree drop as we go through Sunday. Then we go through Monday. Look at the Willamette Valley cooling down quite a bit as well, and then the entire area by the time we get towards Tuesday. And we bounce back a tiny bit here. We get a little bit more towards average as we go through the mid portion of the week. But then as we go towards the end of the week, we have additional potential troughing dropping down across the area. But you can see the temperatures remain suppressed as we go on in through the following week. And here is Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. This is yesterday afternoon. This is a cross section. 10,000 feet would be the top. We're looking at temperature, and you can see the diurnal heating here as we go through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and some troughing around, but definitely putting an end to the very hot days here across some of the places, actually much of the Pacific Northwest, let's call it that. And I'm not sure what's going on here with the significant fire potential, but they should not have had this out. This is still from yesterday, and for Friday and Saturday, I guess they did update this for NW1 with some elevated, but they should have had more warnings out there because there's probably no doubt some fires that started across NW8 and possibly even NW5 where they had, low risk, and it should not have been low risk. And they had that again today for some areas. But there's the update today. They actually have it now NW1 and NW2. They do have some moderate, but I think it probably warrants a little bit higher there, especially yesterday. So anyway, we'll continue to watch that as we go. But here's the 6 to 10 day. Issued yesterday, West Coast, with that troughing around, below average signal showing up as we go through mid-August. And this is the above average signal for precipitation. You see the below average there across some of California and Nevada. This is the drought monitor. It was updated on August 6th. It was released on August 8th. You can still see we've got some drought there across the state of Washington, Oregon. Check it out. Some exceptional drought across western Montana. Some of that severe drought is now into the Idaho Panhandle and portions of the east slopes of the Cascades of Washington. It includes some of the Columbia River area there as well. So yeah, we do have some drought concerns here across Pacific Northwest, just pointing that out according to the drought monitor. But anyway, yeah, I look forward to this dropping coming up here. We're trying not to get too caught up in those individual systems yet, because just the small different positioning of some of those upper level troughs can really have a different impact. If the trough stays a little bit further north, it's going to be more of an onshore flow. It'll keep any kind of convective activity off to the east. But if you get one of those upper level lows to drop down off the Oregon coast, for example, can really bring some fluence aloft and that southeast flow and keep things more unstable, even potentially out over western areas for thunderstorm potential. And so we don't have any idea if that is going to occur just yet, but we will be watching day by day. Might start to get more into detail on that here as we go through the briefing tomorrow, so stick around for that. Otherwise, click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow. Hope you guys are having a good day, and I will talk to you guys then.